The mop hit the floor before Adelaide heard the gunshot. Not close. 2 hallways over, maybe 3. But in a hospital at 2:17 a.m., when even the ventilators seem to hold their breath, a sound like that doesn't just echo. It detonates. Her daughter's hand tightened around hers. Zuri, for years old, clutching that ratty stuffed bunny she called Mimi, looked up with eyes too calm for a child who just heard violence crack through sterile air. "Mommy," Zuri whispered, "are the bad men here?" Adelaide didn't answer. She was already calculating. Exit routes, blind spots, the weight of the cleaning cart and whether it could block a door. Her hands, calloused from years of scrubbing floors, flexed once, muscle memory older than her daughter. The fluorescent lights above them flickered. Once, twice, then steadied, but the hum underneath them changed pitch. Someone had accessed the electrical grid. This wasn't random. Hi viewers, kindly tell us where you're watching from and what time it is. The emergency door at the end of the east wing slammed open. Not the gentle pneumatic hiss of automatic doors. This was force. Boot leather on linoleum. 3 sets of footsteps, moving in formation, the kind of synchronization that costs 6 figures to train. Adelaide pulled Zuri behind the cleaning cart. Not hiding, positioning. She watched them approach through the gap between the cart's lower shelf and its wheels. Black tactical pants, Kevlar vests, no police insignia, no hospital security badges. The lead man's hand rested on a holstered weapon, fingers loose but ready. The 2 behind him carried submachine guns low and tight against their ribs. Professional, expensive, here for something specific. The lead operative's radio crackled. A voice, distorted. "Target is in the building. Secure all exits. Non-lethal protocols unless provoked." Adelaide's heart rate didn't spike. It slowed. Dropped into that cold space she'd promised herself she'd never visit again. The space where a woman who mops floors disappears and something else takes her place. Zuri tugged her sleeve. "Mommy, your hand is shaking." It wasn't fear. It was restraint. The men turned the corner into her hallway. She could smell them now. Gun oil, sweat, the metallic tang of adrenaline seeping through pores. The lead man spotted her immediately. His eyes did a scan. Woman, 5'6", thin frame, maid's uniform, child at her side. Dismissed her in under 2 seconds. "Ma'am, you need to evacuate this wing," he said, voice flat, rehearsed. "Security threat. Move to the main lobby." Adelaide stood slowly, deliberately. Her hand stayed on the mop handle. "What kind of threat? That's not your concern." He took a step closer, impatient now. "Take your kid and go." Behind him, the sliding doors at the main entrance burst open again. A man stumbled through, suit jacket torn, neck tattoos visible even from 50 feet away, blood streaking down his left temple. He saw the operatives, saw Adelaide, and his face did something between relief and terror. He ran straight toward her. "Get down," the lead operative shouted, weapon drawn now, arm extended in textbook firing stance. But the bleeding man wasn't attacking. He was fleeing, and he was looking at Adelaide like she was the only person in this building who could save him. The operative's finger moved to the trigger. Adelaide's hand tightened on the mop. Zuri pressed against her leg, silent, watching. The hospital's intercom system screeched to life. A voice, mechanical, wrong, echoed through every speaker. "Locate Adelaide Marrow. Secure the child. Deadly force authorized." The bleeding man skidded to a stop 3 feet from her. His eyes were wild but focused. "You're Adelaide," he gasped. "You're the one he's been hunting." Adelaide's stomach dropped into a hole that had no bottom, because she hadn't used that name in 3 years. The lead operative's gun swung toward her. Not the man, her. And Zuri looked up at her mother and said 4 words Adelaide had prayed she'd never hear. "Mommy, please stop them. Are you still watching? Drop a comment if you think Adelaide should fight or run." The lead operative's eyes narrowed behind his visor. "Adelaide Marrow, you're coming with us." Not question. An extraction order. The bleeding man, tattooed neck, expensive suit ruined by panic, positioned himself between Adelaide and the guns. Stupid and brave in equal measure. You touch her, you'll start a war you can't finish. The second operative laughed. Short, cold. We were hired to finish wars. Adelaide felt Zuri's fingers dig into her thigh. The child wasn't crying. That was worse. Zuri had learned too young that tears drew attention, and attention from the wrong people meant pain. The tattooed man didn't look at Adelaide when he spoke, just kept his eyes locked on the guns. My name is Ronan Alistrai. If that means anything to you, you'll lower your weapons and walk away. It meant something. Adelaide saw it in the micro pause, the way the third operative's grip shifted. The Alistrai family didn't make idle threats. They made examples, but the lead man's finger stayed on the trigger. We don't work for families. We work for whoever pays the most. Then you're working for her husband, Ronan said quietly. The words hit Adelaide like a fist to the solar plexus. The hospital air thinned. The fluorescent lights seemed to brighten and dim simultaneously. Her vision tunneled to a pinpoint. The lead operative's weapon, the angle of his stance, the distance between his center mass and her makeshift weapon. The mop in her hands wasn't a mop anymore. It was an extension of muscle memory she'd spent 3 years trying to bury. The third operative moved left, flanking position, trying to get a clean line on Ronan. Adelaide tracked him peripherally, knees slightly forward, weight distribution off. Overconfident, she could take him in 4 moves. The thought arrived unbidden, automatic like breathing. Zuri whispered, "Mommy, you're squeezing too hard." Adelaide loosened her grip on her daughter's hand, but not on the mop. "Baby, I need you to count to 10. Slow. Can you do that for me?" Zuri nodded, solemn. Started counting under her breath. The lead operative's radio crackled again. "All units, target is confirmed on 3rd floor. Converge." But he didn't move, didn't lower the weapon. "Mrs. Marrow, your husband wants his daughter back. You can make this easy, or we can make this easy." Ronan barked a laugh. "You think she's going to just hand over her kid? You clearly don't know who you're dealing with." "A maid," the second operative said flatly. "We're dealing with a maid." Adelaide met the lead man's eyes, saw the math happening behind them, saw him calculating compliance, resistance, collateral damage. Saw him decide that a woman in a stained uniform with a child at her side wasn't a threat. He was wrong, but he wouldn't know that until it was too late. Zuri reached 7 in her count. The emergency stairwell door behind the operatives creaked open. Footsteps thundered down. More boots, more guns. The reinforcements had arrived. Ronan's jaw clenched. "Adelaide, if you've got a plan, now would be the time." She didn't have a plan. She had instinct. An instinct was screaming that if she let these men take her daughter, she'd never see Zuri alive again. The lead operative raised his weapon higher, aiming center mass. "And where I can see them. Both of you." Adelaide's hands stayed exactly where they were. On the mop, on her daughter. The stairwell door banged, fully open. 2 more operatives spilled into the hallway, rifles up, scanning for targets. And that's when Adelaide moved. Not toward the guns. Toward them. Comment below. Do you think Adelaide can take down 5 armed men? Or is this the end? The mop handle caught the lead operative under the chin before his brain registered movement. Cartilage compressed. Airway closed. He staggered backward, weapon discharging into the ceiling, tiles exploding into dust and asbestos rain. Adelaide was already pivoting, using his body as a shield, her left foot sweeping the second operative's ankle. He went down hard. Skull cracked linoleum. The sound was wet and final. 3 seconds elapsed. 2 men neutralized. Zuri stopped counting at 8. The third operative swung his rifle toward Adelaide's head. She ducked under the arc, drove the mop's metal base into his kneecap. Bone splintered. He screamed, "Hi, animal," and collapsed. Adelaide ripped the rifle from his hands mid-fall, ejected the magazine, threw it down the hallway. Useless now. The 2 men from the stairwell froze. Professional training ward with primal disbelief. They just watched a woman in a maid's uniform dismantle 3 armed operatives in the time it took to breathe. Ronan stared, mouth open. "What the hell are you?" Adelaide didn't answer. She was watching the stairwell men calculate. watching them decide whether to engage or retreat. Their hands tightened on their weapons. Engage, then. She pushed Zuri behind the cleaning cart. Stay there. Don't look. But Zuri was already looking. Had been looking the whole time. She hugged Mimi the bunny tighter and nodded once. Trust. Absolute. The fourth operative fired. Not at Adelaide. At the cart. Bullets punched through plastic chemical bottles. Bleach and ammonia mixed, vapor blooming instant and choking. Adelaide grabbed a soaked towel from the cart, pressed it to her face, and charged through the cloud. The fourth man never saw her coming. She was a shadow in the chemical fog, a phantom made of muscle memory and maternal rage. Her elbow connected with his temple. His eyes rolled white. He crumpled. The fifth operative ran, not toward Adelaide, away, down the hall, boots slipping on wet floor, radio screaming for backup. Adelaide let him go. She wasn't a killer, just a mother who'd learned to kill if necessary. The hallway settled into ringing silence. From end down, blood mixing with disinfectant, the acrid smell of gunpowder and bleach thick enough to taste. Ronan leaned against the wall, breathing hard. I came here to warn you. Thought I'd have time to explain. Clearly, you don't need a warning. Adelaide pulled Zuri from behind the cart, checked her for injuries. Not a scratch. The child looked up at her mother with eyes that held too much understanding. You stopped them, Mommy. I had to, baby. Adelaide's hands trembled now. Adrenaline crash incoming. She forced him still. Ronan straightened, wincing. The blood on his temple was drying dark. Your husband tracked you through Zuri's school records. Took me 3 months to figure out where you'd gone. Took him 2 weeks. Adelaide's vision narrowed. Ow! He has access to federal databases. Customs. Immigration. Every school enrollment system in the country. Ronan pulled a flash drive from his jacket pocket. This is why he wants you back. Why he sent those men. I'm not going back. Adelaide's voice was flat, absolute. I know. Ronan met her eyes. That's why he's not trying to bring you back. He's trying to erase you. The hospital's PA system crackled. That same mechanical voice. Backup teams en route. Secure all exits. Target is to be eliminated on sight. Eliminated. Not captured. Not detained. They were here to kill her. Zuri tugged Adelaide's sleeve. Mommy, are we running now? Adelaide looked at the unconscious men. At Ronan with his flash drive of secrets. At the stairwell door where more boots were already thundering closer. She picked up Zuri, settled her on one hip, grabbed the mop, still serviceable as a weapon. Looked at Ronan. Yeah, baby, Adelaide said quietly. We're running now. They ran toward the east wing. Behind them, the stairwell door exploded open. Shouts. Orders. The metallic click of magazines being loaded. And somewhere in the hospital surveillance room, someone was watching every camera feed, tracking their every move, calling down hell. Drop a like if you're on Adelaide's side. Comment if you think they'll make it out alive. The East Wing smelled like death and disinfectant. Not metaphorical death, literal. The oncology ward where people came to fight battles they usually lost. Adelaide knew these halls. She mopped them for 18 months. Knew which rooms were empty, which doors stuck, which windows opened. Ronan limped beside her, favoring his left leg. The fall in the main corridor had done more damage than he'd admitted. How far to the service exit? 2 minutes if we're lucky. Adelaide shifted Zuri's weight. The child was too light for 4 years old. Consequence of running, always running, never staying anywhere long enough to feel safe or fed. For if they've locked us down, they'd lock them down. Adelaide saw it in the red emergency lights that suddenly strobed to life. Felt it in the pneumatic hiss of security doors sealing, one by one, cutting off exit routes like a building swallowing itself. Her husband's work. Dorian Marrow, venture capitalist, philanthropist, man of the year according to Forbes. Man who'd nearly killed her twice before she'd learned to fight back. Ronan grabbed her arm, pulled her into an empty patient room. The bed was stripped, mattress stained. They'd lost someone here recently. The energy lingered, heavy and resigned. Listen to me, Ronan said, breathing hard. Dorian's not doing this for revenge. He's doing it for leverage. I'm not leverage. I'm a ghost. I made sure of that. Not you. Ronan looked at Zuri. Her. Adelaide's blood turned to ice water. She set Zuri down gently, positioned herself between her daughter and Ronan. Explain. Now, Ronan held up the flash drive. Your husband told everyone Zuri wasn't his biological daughter. Told his family, his lawyers, the trust fund executors. Said you had an affair, that the paternity test proved it. Adelaide knew this. She'd watched Dorian weave that lie in real time. Watch him use it to justify why he'd stopped pretending to care, why he'd grown colder and meaner. The lie that had made it easier for her to leave. But he lied, Ronan continued. The paternity test on this drive proves Zuri is his daughter, which means she's his legal heir, which means she's his ticket into the syndicate. Adelaide's hands clenched. What syndicate? The Volkov-Mero Alliance. Offshore conglomerate. Oil, weapons, pharmaceutical patents. Your husband's been trying to gain full access for years, but the inheritance laws require a biological heir to claim partnership rights. Ronan's voice dropped. He needs Zuri alive to claim the empire. And he needs you dead so you can't contest custody. The hospital's PA crackled. Not the mechanical voice this time. A human one. Male. Smooth as silk over a blade. Adelaide, I know you can hear me. Her entire body locked rigid. That voice. The voice that used to whisper promises before it started whispering threats. The voice she'd fled from, sacrificed everything to escape. Dorian, you've made this unnecessarily difficult. His voice echoed through every speaker. I'm a reasonable man. Bring Zuri to the main entrance. You'll be free to go. You have my word. Zuri looked up at Adelaide. That's Daddy. She hadn't heard that voice in 3 years, but children remember. Voices imprint deeper than faces. Adelaide crouched down, a level with her daughter. Baby, that man is not your daddy anymore. Do you understand? Zuri nodded slowly. Because daddies don't hurt mommies. That's right. Adelaide's throat closed around the words. Ronan moved to the window, peered through the blinds. 3 SUVs in the parking lot. More men coming. We've got maybe 5 minutes before they sweep this floor. Adelaide's mind raced. The service exit was locked down. The main entrance was a kill zone. The windows were 3rd floor, too high to jump with a child. They were trapped. Dorian's voice returned, softer now, almost gentle. I'll give you 60 seconds to decide, Adelaide. After that, my men have orders to use any means necessary. I prefer Zuri unharmed, but accidents happen in tactical situations. He was threatening to shoot through her to get to their daughter. Ronan pulled a phone from his pocket. Cracked screen, battery nearly dead. I can call someone. People who can help. But they're 20 minutes out minimum. We don't have 20 minutes. Adelaide looked around the room. Medical equipment, stripped bed, oxygen tanks. Oxygen tanks. Her eyes locked on the green cylinders in the corner. Pressurized. Flammable if ruptured correctly. Can you carry Zuri? She asked Ronan. He nodded, confused. Then get ready to run. Adelaide grabbed one of the tanks, checked the gauge. Full. She opened the valve slightly, let pure oxygen hiss into the room. When I say go, you take her and you don't look back. Understand? Ronan's eyes widened. What are you? The door exploded inward. 2 operatives, rifles raised, flashlights cutting through the dim room. Adelaide threw the oxygen tank. Not at them. At the floor between them. And then she pulled the emergency fire alarm. Comment right now. Do you think Adelaide's plan will work? Or did she just doom them all? The sprinklers erupted. Water cascaded from the ceiling in sheets, flooding the hallway in seconds. The operatives' flashlights scattered into useless halos through the deluge. Adelaide grabbed the second oxygen tank, twisted the valve fully open, and hurled it through the doorway. It clanged against the floor, spinning, hissing, releasing pressurized gas into the waterlogged corridor. She didn't need fire. She needed chaos. Go, she shouted at Ronan. He scooped Zuri into his arms and ran, limping hard but moving. Adelaide followed, using the overturned hospital bed as a barricade, shoving it into the doorway. The operatives fired blind through the water and gas. Bullets punched through drywall, shredded ceiling tiles. None found flesh. The East Wing fire exit was 50 feet ahead. Red sign glowing through the artificial rain. Emergency release bar clearly visible. Also clearly guarded. 2 more operatives stood flanking the door, weapons trained down the hallway. They saw Adelaide, saw Ronan carrying Zuri, adjusted their aim. Adelaide didn't slow down. She grabbed a metal 4-stand from an abandoned gurney and threw it like a javelin. It hit the first guard center mass, not enough to penetrate Kevlar, but enough to knock him off balance. He stumbled into his partner. 2-second window. Adelaide closed the distance in 4 strides, drove her shoulder into the off-balance guard's chest, used his body weight as momentum to spin him into the wall. His helmet cracked plaster. He slumped. The second guard swung his rifle stock at her head. She ducked, felt the air displacement, came up inside his guard. Palm strike the nose. Blood exploded across her hand. He staggered back, blind, and she swept his legs. He went down. Stay down. Ronan hit the emergency exit bar. The door didn't open. It's locked. His voice cracked with panic. Adelaide's heart sank. Electromagnetic lock. Controlled from a security office. They'd sealed every exit. Behind them, more boots. More shouts. The operatives from the patient room had recovered. Were advancing through the flooded corridor. Zuri's voice, small and terrified. "Mommy, I'm scared." Adelaide took her daughter from Ronan's arms. Held her close. Felt the rapid hummingbird beat of Zuri's heart against her chest. No more running. She turned to face the approaching operatives. 4 of them now, weapons raised, advancing in textbook formation. Professional. Unrelenting. The lead man, different from before, older, harder, spoke through the water. "Adelaide Marrow, you're out of options. Put the child down and step away." Adelaide's hands tightened on Zuri. "No, we will shoot through you if necessary." "I know." Adelaide's voice was steady. Calm. The kind of calm that comes after fear burns itself out and only resolve remains. "But you'll have to kill me first. And even dying, I promise you, I'll take at least 2 of you with me." The lead operative's finger moved to the trigger, and then the lights went out. Not just the emergency lights. Everything. The entire hospital plunged into absolute darkness. The sprinklers stopped. The hum of electricity died. Someone had cut the main power. In the darkness, Zuri whispered, "Mommy, someone's here." Adelaide felt it too. Movement in the black. Not the operatives, they were shouting, confused, flashlights clicking on but struggling in the soaked air. This was something else. Someone else. A voice cut through the dark. Male. Authoritative. American accent, but with an edge of something foreign underneath. "All Marrow operatives, stand down. This building is now under federal jurisdiction." Flashlights swung toward the voice. Revealed a man in a dark suit, flanked by 6 figures in tactical gear that made Dorian's hired men look like mall security. The newcomer held up a badge. Even in the scattered light, the seal was unmistakable. Department of Justice. The lead operative lowered his weapon. Slowly. "We have authorization from a man currently under investigation for racketeering and conspiracy to commit murder." The suited man interrupted. "Your authorization is void. Put down your weapons or be charged as accomplices." For 3 seconds, nobody moved. Then one by one, the operatives lowered their rifles. Adelaide didn't lower Zuri. Didn't trust this reversal. Didn't understand what was happening or why federal agents were suddenly appearing in a lockdown hospital in the middle of the night. The suited man approached slowly, hands visible, non-threatening. "Mrs. Marrow, my name is Marcus Tennyson. I'm with the Organized Crime Task Force. You and your daughter are safe now." Safe. Adelaide tasted the word. It felt foreign. "Why should I believe you?" Marcus gestured to Ronan, still standing beside her, bleeding and exhausted. "Because Mr. Alestri contacted us 3 days ago with evidence of your husband's criminal enterprise. We've been building a case. Tonight forced our hand." Ronan managed a weak smile. "Told you I came to warn you." Adelaide's legs trembled. Adrenaline crash hitting full force now. She sank against the wall, still holding Zuri, still not quite believing they'd survived. Marcus crouched down to her eye level. "Your husband doesn't know we're here yet, but he will soon. We need to move you to a secure location. Both of you. Zuri lifted her head from Adelaide's shoulder, looked at the federal agent with eyes too old for four. Are you stronger than Daddy? Marcus's expression softened. Yes, sweetheart. Much stronger. Good, Zuri said simply. 'Cause Mommy's tired of fighting. Adelaide closed her eyes. Let the weight of 3 years finally settle. Let herself believe, just for a moment, that maybe this nightmare had an end. Outside, through the broken windows, the sound of engines. Multiple vehicles. Adelaide tensed, but these weren't SUVs. They were armored motorcade vehicles. Black, sleek government issue. Marcus stood, offered his hand. Mrs. Marrow, if you'll come with me. Adelaide looked at Ronan. He nodded. It's okay. They're the real thing. She took Marcus's hand, let him help her stand, held Zuri close, and as they walked toward the exit, now opened, guards standing aside. Adelaide allowed herself one thought. Maybe we're finally free. But in the back of her mind, a voice whispered, Dorian doesn't lose. Not ever. And she knew this wasn't over. We're just getting started. Comment if you want to see what happens when Dorian finds out Adelaide is under federal protection. The flash drive weighed nothing in Marcus's hand, but Adelaide felt its gravity like a stone around her neck. They were inside the armored vehicle now. Leather seats, bulletproof glass, the smell of new car and old secrets. Zuri had finally fallen asleep against Adelaide's shoulder, exhausted from terror. Ronan sat across from them, medical kit open, cleaning the gash on his temple. Marcus slid the drive into a laptop. The screen glowed blue, then filled with documents. Medical records, paternity tests, bank transfers, emails. This is what your husband's been hiding, Marcus said quietly. Proof that Zuri is his biological daughter. Proof that he falsified the original paternity results to avoid custody complications when you left. Adelaide's jaw tightened. Why would he lie about his own child? Because 3 years ago, he didn't need her. The Volkov syndicate hadn't made their inheritance offer yet. Marcus scrolled through encrypted messages. But 6 months ago, everything changed. The syndicate's elder council decided to restructure. New rule. Only bloodline heirs can claim partnership stakes. No heir, no access to the network. Ronan leaned forward. That network controls $30 billion in assets. Pharmaceutical patents, weapons contracts, political leverage across 14 countries. Adelaide looked down at Zuri's sleeping face. Innocent, unaware that her DNA made her worth more than most companies. So Dorian needs her alive. Not just alive, Marcus corrected. He needs legal custody, which means you're the obstacle. The vehicle turned sharply. Adelaide glanced out the tinted window. They weren't heading toward a police station or federal building. The streets were too empty, too industrial. Where are we going? Her voice sharpened with suspicion. Marcus closed the laptop. Safe house. Off-grid location. Dorian has people inside local law enforcement. We can't risk a public facility. Adelaide's instinct screamed. Something felt wrong. The way Marcus avoided eye contact. The way the driver hadn't spoken once. The way Ronan's hand drifted toward his jacket pocket, fingers tense. Zuri stirred, mumbled in her sleep. Mommy, the car smells weird. Adelaide inhaled. Underneath the leather and electronics, a chemical trace. Faint but distinct. Chloroform. Her blood turned arctic. She met Ronan's eyes. Saw the apology there before he moved. I'm sorry, Ronan whispered, pulling a syringe from his pocket. But you're worth more as leverage than as a witness. Adelaide's fist connected with his jaw before the needle touched her skin. Comment now. Did Ronan just betray Adelaide? Or is something bigger happening? Ronan's head snapped back, blood exploding from his lip. The syringe clattered to the floor. Adelaide grabbed it, crushed it under her heel, and lunged for the door handle. Locked. Child safety engaged. Marcus drew his weapon, not government issue. Custom. Expensive. Mrs. Marrow, don't make this harder than it needs to be. You're not federal. Adelaide positioned herself between the gun and Zuri. Who sent you? Someone who pays better than justice. Marcus's smile was cold, professional. Your husband offered $5 million for Zuri's safe return. $10 million if you're alive but compliant. $15 if you both disappear quietly. The vehicle accelerated. Adelaide felt the shift, the turn onto a highway. Minutes from wherever they were going. Minutes from losing everything. Zuri woke up, groggy, confused. Mommy? Close your eyes, baby, Adelaide whispered. Count to 20. Don't stop. Ronan struggled upright, jaw already swelling. Adelaide, wait, I didn't. She kicked him in the ribs. He folded, gasping. You brought me here. You called them. No. Ronan coughed, tasted blood. I called the real feds. These people intercepted. Marcus laughed. Touching. The criminal with a conscience. Dorian predicted you'd try to play hero, Alestri. That's why he paid me to monitor your communications. Adelaide's mind raced. The vehicle was moving 70 miles per hour. Bulletproof glass meant she couldn't break the windows. The driver was separated by a partition, reinforced, soundproof. She was trapped in a mobile cage with a man pointing a gun at her daughter. Zuri counted softly, 11, 12. Marcus leaned forward. Here's what happens next. We deliver you to a private airfield. You get on a plane. You go somewhere your husband controls. He gets custody. You get to live. Somewhere remote, quiet, where screaming doesn't matter. And if I refuse? Adelaide's voice was ice. Then I shoot you, sedate the child, and deliver her without you. Either way, Dorian wins. Marcus checked his watch. We arrive in 4 minutes. Decide. Adelaide looked at Ronan, bleeding, broken, but his eyes held something desperate. He mouthed 2 words, trust me. She trusted him once already. Look where that led. But Zuri was at 15 in her count. And Adelaide had run out of options. Ronan moved, not toward Marcus, toward the partition separating them from the driver. He slammed his fist against it, once, twice, shouting, now. The vehicle swerved violently. Marcus's shot went wild, punching through the roof. Adelaide grabbed his wrist, twisted, felt bones grind. The gun fell. She caught it before it hit the floor. The vehicle spun completely around, tires screaming. Adelaide braced herself and Zuri against the seat. Marcus tumbled, hit the door hard. The partition slid open. The driver turned around. Not one of Dorian's men. A woman, mid-50s, dark skin, federal badge hanging from her neck. Real one this time. Sorry for the rough ride, she said calmly. Had to make sure we lost the tail. Adelaide's hands shook. Gun still pointed at Marcus. Who are you? Special Agent Keisha Vance. Actual Department of Justice. She glanced at Marcus, now unconscious and bleeding. That man killed 2 of my agents last year. Thanks for softening him up. Ronan grinned through split lips. Told you. Trust me. Like this video if your heart is still racing. Comment what you think happens next. The warehouse smelled like rust and old machinery. Adelaide stepped out of the vehicle, Zuri clinging to her neck, and counted 12 agents in tactical gear. Real badges, real weapons, real backup. Agent Vance led them inside, past metal detectors and biometric scanners. We've been tracking your husband's operation for 8 months. Ronan's information accelerated our timeline. Ronan limped beside Adelaide, holding his ribs. I told you I was trying to help. You also let me get kidnapped by a fake Fed. Adelaide shot back. I didn't know Marcus was compromised until he pulled the gun. Ronan winced. But yeah, my fault. I'm buying you dinner when this is over. I don't eat with people who almost got me killed. Fair. They entered a command center. Screens everywhere, displaying surveillance feeds, maps, financial records. Adelaide saw her own face on one monitor. Beneath it, Adelaide Marrow, witness protection candidate. Agent Vance gestured to a chair. Sit. We need your statement. Everything you know about Dorian's operations. Adelaide sat, still holding Zuri. I know he's powerful, connected, that he'll kill anyone who threatens him. He tried. Vance pulled up a video feed. 20 minutes ago, his hired team stormed the hospital. Found it empty. Dorian's currently in a penthouse in Manhattan, making calls, try to locate you. The screen showed Dorian Marrow, tall, handsome, the kind of face that graced magazine covers. He paced, phone pressed to his ear, expression calm. Too calm. Adelaide's stomach twisted. She knew that look, the one that meant people were about to die. Vance continued, "With Ronan's evidence and your testimony, we can arrest him within 48 hours. But we need you safe until then." Safe. Adelaide tasted the word again. Still didn't believe it. Where? Federal protection. New identities. You and Zuri disappear until trial. Zuri lifted her head. "Do I get a new name?" Vance smiled gently. "Any name you want, sweetheart." Outside, engines roared. Multiple vehicles pulling up fast. Adelaide's hand instinctively moved to where a weapon should be. She had nothing. Agent Vance's radio crackled. "Ma'am, we have incoming. Black motorcade. Federal plates." Vance frowned. "I didn't authorize any motorcade." The warehouse doors exploded inward. Comment right now if you think Adelaide will survive what's coming next. The man who stepped through the shattered doors wore a suit worth more than Adelaide's entire year of wages. Silver hair, cold eyes, face she'd seen before, in photographs, in Dorian's study, in nightmares. Senator Richard Volkov, head of the syndicate family, the man Dorian needed to impress. He was flanked by 20 armed men, not hired mercenaries, private military, the kind governments whispered about but never confirmed existed. Agent Vance stepped forward, hand on her weapon. "Senator, you're interfering with a federal investigation." Volkov smiled. Polite, lethal. "Agent Vance, I'm here as a concerned citizen. I've been informed that my business partner's wife and child are being held against their will." "That's a lie," Adelaide said, voice steady despite the fear clawing her throat. Volkov's eyes found her, assessed her like livestock. "Mrs. Marrow, your husband is worried about you. He simply wants his family safe." His family? Adelaide's laugh was bitter. "He tried to have me killed 3 hours ago." Regrettable miscommunication. Volkov gestured, and one of his men stepped forward, holding a tablet. "I have a court order here, signed by Judge Whitmore. Emergency custody hearing ruled in Dorian Marrow's favor. The child is to be returned immediately." Vance snatched the tablet. "Read it." Her face went pale. "This is, how did you—" Justice moves quickly for those who understand how it works. Volkov extended his hand toward Adelaide. "Give me the girl." Adelaide held Zuri tighter. "No." "Then you're in contempt of court, and these federal agents are complicit in kidnapping." Volkov's tone never changed. Calm, reasonable, the voice of a man who'd never been told no. "I can have everyone in this building arrested within minutes." Ronan stepped between them. "You want the kid, you go through me." Volkov barely glanced at him. "Mr. Alestrai, your family's influence ended when you stole from us. You're a dead man who just doesn't know it yet." Adelaide's heart hammered. She looked at Agent Vance, saw helplessness there, saw the reality. Volkov owned judges, politicians, entire systems. A court order, even a corrupt one, tied federal hands. She was out of options, out of time. Zuri whispered, "Mommy, I don't want to go." Adelaide's eyes burned. "I know, baby." Then the second motorcade arrived. These vehicles were different, larger, armored to military specifications. They didn't just pull up, they surrounded the warehouse, blocking every exit. The lead door opened. A woman emerged, late 60s, black, wearing a blazer with a gold pin Adelaide recognized from news broadcasts. Attorney General of the United States. She walked straight past Volkov's armed men like they were decoration, stopped in front of the senator. "Richard Volkov, you're under arrest for conspiracy, bribery, and about 15 other charges we've been compiling for a decade." Volkov's composure cracked, just slightly. "You can't prove." "We can, thanks to Mr. Alestri's cooperation and Mrs. Marrow's testimony." The Attorney General nodded to her agents. "Take him. Drop a comment if you're as shocked as we are. What happens when the most powerful man in the room gets arrested?" Morning light broke through the warehouse windows, turning the dust motes into gold. Adelaide sat on a crate, Zuri finally asleep in her arms, and watched federal agents lead Volkov away in handcuffs. He didn't struggle, didn't shout, just looked at Adelaide once, a look that promised this wasn't over. But for now, it was over enough. The Attorney General approached, offered a bottle of water. Adelaide took it, hands still shaking. Why did you come yourself? Because women like you don't get justice unless people like me show up. The Attorney General sat beside her. Your husband's been arrested too. Manhattan penthouse. Didn't even run. Arrogant men never think they'll actually face consequences. Adelaide exhaled. 3 years of running. 3 years of fear. And it ended in a warehouse at dawn with her daughter asleep and her enemies in handcuffs. It felt unreal. Ronan limped over, face swollen but grinning. So, that dinner offer still stand. Adelaide almost smiled. You're buying for a year. Deal. Agent Vance joined them. We still need your testimony. Both of you. Trial starts in 6 months. Until then, witness protection. New names, new city, full security. Zuri stirred, looked up at her mother. Can we get a house with a yard? Adelaide kissed her forehead. Yeah, baby. A house with a yard. The Attorney General stood, preparing to leave. Mrs. Marrow, you survived something most people wouldn't. You protected your daughter against impossible odds. That takes a kind of strength most people never find. Adelaide looked down at Zuri. I'm just a mom. No, the Attorney General said softly. You're a warrior who happened to become a mother. There's a difference. As the motorcade prepared to transport them to the safe house, Adelaide glanced back at the warehouse, at the place where her old life officially ended and something new, something safer, could finally begin. Ronan caught her expression, thinking about him, about what he'll try next. Adelaide adjusted Zuri in her arms. He can try whatever he wants, but he should pray I never stop fighting for her. The sun climbed higher. The vehicles rolled out. And somewhere in a federal detention center, Dorian Marrow learned what it felt like to be powerless. For the first time in her life, Adelaide Marrow felt like she could breathe. Not free yet, not fully, but close enough to taste it. And that was enough for today. This story isn't over. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what happens when Dorian's trial begins and Adelaide faces him in court. Drop a comment sharing your thoughts. Your words might inspire someone else going through their own battle. Hit that like button if Adelaide's strength moved you. See you in the next story.